to the center of your mat. Have the feet just hip width apart a little bit further, nice and wide stance. And from here, just feel your feet against the earth. So rocking forwards and rocking a little bit backwards. Just feeling the feet against the earth. Have a slight soft bend in the knees. And with the belly, scoop it up towards the back of the spine. So drawing the belly in, scooping up, as if you're zip locking the lower ribs to the top of the pelvis. So we're nice and secure in the belly. Lift from the sternum, let's roll the shoulders up and back, nice and long through the crown. Draw the chin back, standing nice and tall. Just close down the eyes for a moment. Just feel yourself just standing tall and strong, yet soft and flexible. And let's just loosen up the muscles for a moment here. So just twisting from the waist and just letting the arms just twist forwards and backwards, knocking onto the front of the waist and the lower back. And from here we take some deep breaths in through the nose and out the mouth. Just letting the arms be really just nice and loose in the sockets, in the shoulder joint here. And you can turn the head, just rotating through the whole spinal column, releasing any tension from the lower back all the way up into the shoulders and into the neck. And just allowing the arms to start to slow down and just pausing back into the center for a moment. Standing up nice and tall, regain that length in the spine. Take the right hand and place it over the left ear. With our left hand, stretch down and out so you're on a diagonal and the fingertips are reaching for the top end of your mat. And from here we're going to guide the head down, stretching into the side of the left side of the neck. Just drawing in a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And can you put some resistance into this position? So we're pushing the head into the hand, pushing the head just gently into the hand to create a little bit of resistance as you stretch the arm long. Just relax the head and let it maybe fall even more to the side, lengthening along the side of the neck. Tuck the chin and roll the head slightly forward. And just pausing in any bits that need a little bit more release here. Inhale, draw the head back up to the center and let's swap sides. So left hand goes onto the right ear. Right hand stretching out on the diagonal, stretching to the front of your mat. And you might even feel it here. So just feel into the shoulder, maybe rolling the shoulder back, opening up the chest. And from this nice and tall position, let's lift the head up and over. And even just the smallest movement can create some length, can create some space in our shoulder and our neck and our upper back. Taking deep breaths in and long deep breaths out. Just like we did on the other side, putting some resistance against the hand by pressing the head up into the hand, lengthening through those fingertips, breathing some space into the neck and shoulders. Just like we did on the other side, let's drop the chin, rolling it so we can get along the back of the neck. Just feeling out any bits. And of course you can pause the video if it feels nice to stay here for a bit longer. But let's just come back up to center. Take a deep breath in and out. Going to go into a forward fold. So grab a block. And we can have the hips, the feet hip width apart still. I can bring them in a little bit closer. We want our toes pointing towards the front. So our second toe is our compass, pointing directly in front of us. And from here, we're going to have a slight bend in the knees because we really want to get into the hamstrings and the lower back. So inhale, stand tall, and exhale, take the block and just walk it out in front of you. nice and far, so you can really lengthen into the back. And we're keeping our knees bent and pulling back on the block. So holding with fingers and pulling it back, but the block is glued to the ground. Tuck the chin, scoop the belly so the belly button goes towards the spine. And from here you can start to straighten the knees if you like. So we lift the sit bones up to the sky and we plant the heels into the ground. So we're lengthening the whole back of the leg. Take a deep breath in here, pulling back on that block, and exhale, maybe you sink a little deeper. Lifting the sit bones to the sky, sinking the heels down into the earth. And let's walk the block over to the left side, so placing it over the left on the outside of the left foot. And let's bend into the right knee. So the left leg is straight, drawing up into the hip joint. Bend into that right leg. So we're really lengthening along our side body, into the back, as well as down the back of the leg. Really drawing that chin to chest, scooping the belly button goes towards the spine. And let's change sides. So move the block over to the right. So let's bend into the left knee this time and straighten the right leg, lifting the sit bones to the sky, tucking chin to chest. Really imagining your spine growing super long, creating space in the vertebrae, pulling back on that block. Letting the heel sink down, sit bones come up. And just come back to the center. Take the feet out a little wider here and let the block go and just rock side to side for a moment. You can cross the elbows and just dangle the spine, dangle the head, releasing any tension out the crown. Really soft in the body but strong in the legs. And come into the center. Inhale, roll up. Rolling up, standing up nice and tall, coming into downward dog. So on your mat, let's have the hands spread nice and wide, so space between the fingers. Plant them down first, and as if you're gripping the mat. So press the fingertips and step back with the feet. Lift the hips up to the sky, shining those sit bones up and scoop the belly. Tuck the chin to the chest and press into the hands, keeping that spine nice and long. Now with the feet, let's just pedal them for a moment. So we sink the right heel down, bend into the left leg, and change. Press into the left leg, straighten it, bend into the right. Really lengthening through the spine as if I'm pulling your hips back, up and back into space. And you can bend the knees here. Really, we're going for length in the spine and drawing in the belly. Really important to be drawing in the belly, creating that little bit of tension in the abdominals, strengthening the core, and sink the heels down, straighten the legs. Come onto knees, so drop down, have the hands underneath the shoulders. And just a few cat-cows here, so we drop the belly and look up. Shine the chest through, and exhale, draw the belly up towards the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, gazing up, really lifting through the chin, lifting through the tailbone. And exhale, draw the spine up and in, chin to chest. And come to center, so find where your spine is nice and long in this center. Shine energy out the crown, so lengthen through out the top of the head and lengthen through the tailbone, extending through both directions. Press into the hands, draw the belly up and in, and we're going to hover for a few seconds here. So press into the hands, press into the tops of the feet and lift the knees off. We're going to stay here for a few seconds, and you can close the eyes and just really put your mind and your attention to the core. So we're drawing the belly up and in, as well as that pelvic floor. So imagine that you're halfway through your peeing and you need to stop the flow. So we've stopped the flow, we're drawing the pelvic muscles up and in, activation of our core, deep in the muscles, protecting the lower back, strengthening the whole body. One more second. Exhale, lower the knees down. Let's just sink back into child's pose for a moment. So sink the hips back onto the heels, stretch the hands out nice and long, chin to chest. Take a deep breath in, fill up the lower back. Sink the hips down and press the hands forward, enjoying the stretch. And again, you can come into that hover for a few rounds. We're just doing it once just to feel that activation, so you can have that throughout your day. But you're welcome to do that hover a few times here. Let's come onto our back. Rolling down the spine. And taking the right foot across the left knee. And just flexing into the right foot here. Just feeling out the hips for a moment, maybe rocking back and forth. Just massaging the lower spine, creating some space in the hips and the lower spine whilst just feeling out this position before we go any further. And with the knee, just press it out for a moment with the hand, then press the knee into the hand. So you're creating some resistance here. With that foot flexed, nice and activated, draw the belly to the spine, draw the knees in. And from here, take the hands behind the hamstring. We're just going to draw in whilst pushing out that knee. And let's move a little bit with the breath as well. So on an inhale, you expand. And on an exhale, maybe the knees draw a little bit closer to the body. Filling up the whole body with breath as we inhale. And as you exhale, the body just naturally starts to open a little more and the knees might start to come closer to the body. And remember our headlights from our sit bones. Just noticing what happens if you shine them up towards the sky. But if you try and press them down, see if you can press them down, shining them towards the ground as we draw the knees back in. And just have the legs long for a moment, just releasing the pose, hands on hips, and just noticing the difference between the legs now. If there's any more length, space in one leg compared to the other, if one feels longer. And let's come on to the other side now. So bending in the right leg, knee pointing up to the sky. Let's bring the left foot across the knee, flexing into that left foot. And just place the hand on the knee for a moment and really push into the knee. Maybe rocking side to side just to feel this movement out in our other side of the body, because we're going to have differences in each side. So just bring that awareness into how it feels. Maybe pausing in any bits that feel a little sticky. And as we push into the knee pushes into the hand, creating a little bit of resistance. Let's turn our attention to the belly as we draw the belly into the spine, scooping up from the pelvis, scooping up from the pelvic floor, so we have a little bit of an activation as if you're trying to pull it up towards the belly button. Take the hands behind the hamstring, drawing it into the belly. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you start to breathe, you might notice that there's a little bit more space being created. Breathing in and expands a little, the knees maybe go towards the back of the mat. As you exhale, perhaps the knees come in a little. The belly squeezes all of the air out. Draw the pelvic floor up and in. And that whole core activation. And turn your attention to the sit bones, how it feels when we shine them up towards the sky, and how it feels when we extend them, shining the light down towards the earth. And this allows us some more space in the pelvis, so we're not as tight, restricted here. We're gaining that freedom and flexibility, releasing any areas around the sciatic nerve while strengthening as well. And allow the feet just to extend long, legs long on the mat. Hands on the hips, and just notice the legs. Notice the hips. Notice if there's any more length in the legs from the hip all the way down into the toes. Arms extend long and palms facing up. So resting in our final pose, Shavasana, for a few moments, where we just integrate all the benefits that even this short practice gives our body, how it has released our shoulders, our neck, our spine, our hips, and released tension from the mind. And our body can just relax and melt into the earth for a few moments here. And just taking a deep breath in through the nose, and out through the nose. Beginning to wiggle the toes and the fingers, bring some movement back into the body. Inhale, stretch the arms up nice and long above you. Stretching into the toes and into the fingers, a full body stretch. Draw the knees into the chest and come to lie on your side. Just pausing here for a moment, head resting on the arm. And just giving gratitude to your body. Gratitude for yourself for bringing this self-care practice to release pain, to bring in movement, to strengthen deep from the core, help our bodies function better throughout our days. Press into the hand and come into a sitting position. Keep the eyes closed for a moment as we bring our hands either into prayer or palms over the heart. And chin to chest, gazing down. Just connecting with the heart for a moment. And inhale, let the hands go and blink open the eyes.